Hello. Welcome to Point of View. Today, we will review the rise and fall of YouTubers.
True or false? If you make a video that compares people to animals or bugs because of their race or nationality, that could result in a strike on your channel. The answer is true. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against members of protected groups, including but not limited to race, gender, sexual orientation, or religious affiliation. We may allow content that includes hate speech, like news coverage of world events, if the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic in nature. But this is not a free pass to promote hate speech, and it's important that the purpose of the video is not to directly encourage violence or promote hatred against individuals or groups. Let's take a look at a few examples. A creator uploads a video using slurs to describe members of a religious group and goes on to say the world would be better off without these people. In another video, a documentary features interviews with people from two different religious groups, during which the interviewees use derogatory words. Do either of these videos violate our community guidelines? Yes. The first video violates our hate content policy. YouTube does not allow use of slurs with the intent to attack, dehumanize, or degrade members of protected groups. But what about a documentary that shows people promoting hate speech? Would that be okay? To learn that and more about our policies around hate content, go to the YouTube Help Center article linked here or use the link in the description. Thanks for watching.
I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that foreigners hate about Chinese people the most. And for all my Chinese friends and subscribers, down in the comments, I'd like you to write the 5 things that Chinese people hate about foreigners the most, because that's an upcoming video that I'll be doing with my wife. So please give me your suggestions down there. Anyway, let's begin. What are the 5 things that foreigners hate the most about Chinese people? I have to reiterate, because it seems that most people don't understand what generalization is, but I am, of course, generalizing here. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the lack of compassion and empathy. This must be the #1 thing that both myself and all of my foreign friends gripe about all the time when it comes to living in China or hello, 中国人. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, the lack of compassion and empathy that you see in China is astounding. And I'm talking about all sorts of things. If you see somebody get hurt, it's very seldom people will actually step forward to help them. And of course, there are reasons for this, which I've discussed in the past. You know, there's a lot of scams and there's a lot of people taking advantage of other people here. So people are scared. And also, you know, when you've got such a huge amount of people, you get that bystander effect. Either way, it is still a massive, massive problem here. So not only is it when it comes to helping other people, but animals as well. It's very common to see people boiling animals alive, you know, cooking animals alive, doing all sorts of terrible things to animals, beating them, because there's absolutely no law against animal cruelty in China. So also the whole thing about, you know, killing animals for their parts for traditional Chinese medicine, things like that. So, you know, the lack of empathy and compassion is really quite disturbing, and I'd place that as the top of the list. #2, lack of foresight. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that in China, you've got this phenomenon where people will grab something now without thinking about the future. They don't really have any long-term goals when it comes to things like business, friendships, that kind of thing. So if an opportunity arises now for, let's say, for somebody to make 10,000 RMB, but if they were to take that opportunity now and forego making 100,000 RMB over a year, they would take the 10,000 RMB now. And of course, this sours a lot of business deals, because, you know, you might order a product from a factory and they can save costs by giving you a faulty product. And so they do that. And then you end up with a faulty product and you never do business with them again. And this is very unfortunate, because it sours business deals, like I said, and it also sours relationships, because there's very much a grab now, don't think about the consequences sort of thing going on here in China. And this is what leads to things like food scandals, fake drugs, the milk powder scandal. All of that kind of stuff comes out of this short-sightedness. Next thing I'm going to talk about is rude social etiquette. I'm talking about things like cutting in queues, urinating in public. It's usually the children that do that, but spitting in public, you know, these kind of general things. Talking very loudly on the phone when you're in a public place, like a bus or a train. These are really a big bugbear of most of the foreigners I know as well. And it's one of those things that I think is, you know, generally the older generation is responsible for this. However, the younger generation, a lot of them have picked up this habit too. And it's really annoying, and I guess the only thing that can fix this is education. You know, it's not good to spit. If anyone here watching this video thinks it's okay to spit on the floor, on the ground when you're in public, you know what? That spreads disease. I don't know if you ever learned anything about disease and pathogens and stuff, but don't spit because it's bad for everybody's health around you. And it's disgusting. Do it in the bathroom. Okay, rant over. Number 4, having money as a god. Now, this is a bit of a byproduct of religion being completely wiped out during the Cultural Revolution, etc. But I'm sure you can notice behind me we have all the New Year's decorations. They're up there, but a lot of this is all about bringing fortune and bringing money. You see, it's all about coins and fake coins and stuff. It's all about money, money, money. And you know, if you spend any time with Chinese people, you'll start to realize that money is the most important thing in their lives. Of course, money first, family second. Maybe money, food, then family, or money, family, then food, something like that. But those seem to be the top 3 priorities in, you know, daily life here in China. And it's unfortunate because it leads to a lot of the societal problems that happen here. Because money is put above morals, and in other words, it supersedes morals, people will scam, do immoral things, sell their own mother if they can make money. You know what I mean? This should probably actually move all the way up to number 1, to be honest, because all the scams, all the scandals, all the, you know, poisoning of children, etc., all comes from the fact that people put money above everything else. And I'm not saying that Western people aren't greedy and that Western people don't chase money. Of course they do. Depending on the country, etc., people do terrible things for money. But the problem is, it's ingrained in Chinese society that money is so important that it gets put above life, and it gets put above people's well-being, and it gets put above friendship. And it's really annoying, because if you're from the West, you know, money, at least the people I hang around with and my family, etc., money is not that important. Money is a tool. Money is something that you use in order to, you know, live a nice life, or in order to do things, but it definitely isn't put above the livelihood of other people, and it's never put above your morals, because morals can't be bought. Number 5, lack of individuality. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you out there, but China has a very collectivist society. In other words, people like to be the same. People don't like to stand out. This is, of course, a product of history. It's been like this for a long time. It's Confucianist values and, of course, communism and all that kind of thing. The nail that stands out gets hammered down. So people like to all be the same. They kind of like to have the same ideas. They kind of like to aspire to the same things. They like to drive the same sort of cars, wear the same sort of clothes, have the same sort of hairstyles. You get the picture. It's basically a very sort of collectivist society. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to say that should change, but it is something that really annoys foreigners. You know, like I said, that's the point of this video, are the 5 things foreigners hate about Chinese people. And this is one of them. And the reason for this is, of course, people don't make up their own minds. People don't have their own ideas about things. And this is incredibly apparent if you ever look at the comments section of my videos. When somebody thinks that I've said something bad about China, which happens quite a lot because there's of course a language barrier, and sometimes some of the things I say in my videos can very easily be construed as harsh criticism of China. So what will happen is you'll get somebody reads it incorrectly, goes online on the Chinese internet and says, this foreigner is saying blah, 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 blah. Next minute, you'll see like 10 million comments. Okay, not that many, but you'll see hundreds of comments all saying, you are a blah, 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 blah. In my comment sections, I delete most of them because they're all the same. Anyway, next month, somebody will discover something I've said in my videos, and then they'll go post it online, and then you'll get another 100-odd comments saying the same thing. Oh, you are a blah, 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 blah. So there's all these funny rumors going on around the Chinese internet about me. You know, things like my wife supports me and that I make money by saying bad things about China, and I've got foreign powers paying me, and you know, this kind of crap, which of course is nonsense. But it's really funny to see the lack of individuality. And so when somebody says something or spreads a rumor, an incorrect rumor, everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and instead of having their own individual thought, they just follow the leader like a sheep. So this is quite annoying. It's also annoying when it comes to, I don't know, just the vibrance of life. If you look around, you'll see the same shops. You know, even though they're not the same chain, you'll see the same sort of shops, same sort of signs, same sort of food, same sort of attitudes. And it doesn't matter if you're in the very south of China, the very north, the very east, the very west, you'll find a lot of the same sort of attitudes and the same sort of things. And so it can actually be quite boring. And this is one of the things that we don't like. Hello. Hello. Where are you? There you are. 你好. 很高兴认识你啊. Cool. But you know, the thing is, at the end of the day, get past this noisy truck. I should have added noise to the list because I'm pretty sure you noticed just during this video how noisy China is. At the end of the day, I do absolutely love China, and the reason why I'm pointing out these 5 things is because I secretly hope that these 5 things will improve. Because if these problems can be overcome, I think China will be an incredible place, you know? And so I'm also looking forward to the feedback from my Chinese subscribers and Chinese fans, because I would like to know from them, from their point of view, what they hate about foreigners, because it's always good to know what you can improve. So I'm looking forward to the feedback. Thank you guys for watching, as always. It's good to be back in China. You know, I've just come back from that trip to America, and that's coming soon. In fact, in a couple of days, you'll see the first episode of our new series about Chinese food. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. Anyway, enough waffling on. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you in the next video. And until next time, you know the drill. Stay awesome.
Get down to SerpentZA and Laoway 86, and I'm going to put these two together because they're in the same place doing the same thing. What they did is they went to China and they built a franchise for themselves. One SerpentZA, the other one Laoway 86. Okay, well then they took everything that they could, picked up and left China. Why? Well, I think they found that bashing China in China was not a very good idea. Sure, they've been doing good. They've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and now they're in Los Angeles, sitting in front of a green screen, talking about China. I can see both Laoway 86 and SerpentZA's channels turning into something like China Uncensored. And why do I say that? Well, when you're in China, you have a frame of mind. You think differently when you're in China because you're in China. I've been in Canada for now 18 months and trying to keep this channel Chinese, and because I know I'm going back 9 days, guys, nine days. I know I'm going back, unlike Laoway 86 and SerpentZA. I think they've decided that China's not for them. They lost their heart for China, and that happens. And the idea that they're sitting in front of a green screen with Chinese B-roll running in the back talking about China Sure, they've got experience in China, but things change so quickly in China that it won't be long before what they know about China is obsolete. They're not looking at that, but they built a franchise, so it just they can run off that for a while. I'm sure of that. And hey, their subscriber count is amazingly high, so people do like them. The idea that doing China vlogs from Los Angeles, California, it can only go for so long. The content is going to change. It's going to get shallower. See, when I started doing vlogs in China, it was about the streets of China. It was about the world that I was living in. It was exciting, enjoyable. It was interesting. The foods, the people, the places that we went to were amazing. You know, not just in Nanning City, but in places like Bobai and Yulin and Beihai and Guilin and you name it, Beijing to Shanghai, all of these places in China are interesting, and they have something new and exciting about each and every one of these places. I don't think that you're able to keep that excitement going on a YouTube channel if you're not there, a part of the community, a part of the world that you're talking about. Sooner or later, that channel's going to turn, sort of like mine did. Mark M made a comment on a video I did recently, and yes, Mark, he called my channel turning into the boogeyman. Yes, I understand, and I hear you 100%. You're not going to see videos like that from me anymore. You're going to see down-to-earth, real videos about China, from China, in 9 days. Did I say that before? Yes. Some people enjoy China. Some people enjoy the life of China, the excitement. Their heart is in China. The world is their oyster. Lena from Lena Around China is one of those people. Yours truly, Gweilo 60, yes, me, is another person. I would rather be in China than anywhere else in the world. Why? Because I just like it there. It's one of those things that I've traveled all over the world, and China is that place that just sort of caught me, and once it catches you, it's very hard for it to let you go. If your heart is never in China, if you see the small quirks and the things that piss off most Westerners, well then, you'll never be happy there. Georges wasn't happy there. Prozzy wasn't happy there. Lau86 wasn't happy there, and SerpentZA wasn't happy there. They all say, "Oh, I love China. I like China," but this is wrong and that's wrong, and you can't really do that and call something down that you like. You're basically saying you like China because you want the people on the other end of the video that are watching, yes, you people out there, to think that you like China. Well, if they like China, they'd still be living there, doing their thing in China, for China, about China, and living the Chinese experience. Living in China changes you. It makes you think differently. You see different things, and those differences come out in your videos.
大家好, I'm Nathan Rich, aka 火锅大王. Today I want to talk to you about a YouTuber named SerpentZA, whose real name is Winston Frederick Sterzel. Winston is a South African guy that's gotten famous for his videos about China. In them, he often points out how objective he is about China, and his videos have made him a lot of money over the years. In the beginning, he was relatively objective about China, but after he quit his longtime English teaching job, his videos turned more sensationalist and anti-Chinese. And as soon as that happened, his Western followers increased dramatically. SerpentZA and his friend Lau86, another English teacher, make videos that exploit and abuse Chinese people, all the while smiling in their faces. So Winston is an English teacher and his crew is English teachers. A couple of English teachers making money off of slamming China. Great. A lot of my friends here in China and in America are top business executives running major companies, and not one of them listens to anything Winston or Lau86 say about China because it's obvious how biased they are. Nearly everything they say about China is negative and intentionally misleading. There are no educated, culturally experienced people who give credit to the videos that they make. It's time to expose SerpentZA as the fraud that he is.
I used to run an IT consulting company, and one of my clients wanted to come to China. He wanted me to come along.
Winston says he didn't get successful by making videos about China. He was already a successful business owner. The story he's telling sounds a lot like mine, actually. I was the director of technology when I came to China, and I came on a business trip to see about the technical feasibility of a merger. Let's take a look at his real past. He says he was running an IT consulting company called Access Oriental. Kind of weird that he would call it Access Oriental when he had never been to Asia before, don't you think? Let's take a look at accessoriental.com to find out about this big IT boss. Actually, it turns out accessoriental.com doesn't even exist, and all the old versions of the website are just him blogging about being in China. No, he didn't run a successful IT consulting company. What he did was he helped a friend with some IT and then later made himself sound better by lying and saying that he ran an IT company. So what was he doing all these years in China? On Facebook it says he's an artist. And here it says he's a film/TV producer. But according to him,
I train doctors, that's my bread and butter job.
He says he trains doctors, and sure enough I found some pictures of him doing just that. What is he training them on? Surgery techniques? Look at what it says on the chalkboard. Piggy bank, broom, mop. Are these doctors or janitors? How to shake hands, and a man surfing. What are your hobbies? These are basic English words. Excuse me, where are you from? Good evening. Nice to see you. That's right, he's an English teacher and he always was one. He actually worked here at Better Information Consulting Company. It says he has extensive English teaching experience teaching adults and children of various levels of English. A lot of people have been doubting his claim that he trains doctors, so his wife released a video explaining exactly what kind of stuff he trained them on.
What Winston trained the doctors, the daily English, how to order in a restaurant. It's quite useful because I never try to order in an English restaurant. One thing is how he teach us to answer like how we want our steak done. Now you know what my husband told us.
So just like we suspected, he's been lying this whole time to make himself seem successful when actually he was just an average English teacher until he started making videos. He uses the word training intentionally because he knows people won't understand that he's just an English teacher.
People watch my videos because they want to see what China's really like. It's brought me so many different opportunities and I've met so many interesting people.
So Chinese people have brought him opportunities and he's met many interesting people. And what is he doing with these opportunities? What does he say about these interesting people in English on his YouTube channel without subtitles so they will never know what he said?
Of course, I met a bunch of millionaires and billionaires and stuff along the way, but I've never had any respect for them because it's new money and they didn't know what to do with it and just threw it away on garbage.
He's never had any respect for them? Okay, well that's disgusting. He's literally saying that wealthy people in China are idiots. Do they know how he talks crap about them behind their backs to the rest of the world? I think he's a loser who tries to trick people into thinking his videos are objective. But what do average Chinese people think about him?
Quite some time ago, there was this massive campaign to try and get me deported. These nationalists are like sheep. They're really just so stupid. They're very, very, very bad. And they're way more dangerous than white supremacists. When people put this anti-foreigner rhetoric, nobody steps in to stop them. Nobody has the courage to stand up and call them out.
A massive campaign to get him deported, so Chinese people don't like him either. He hates when Chinese people love China. Well, that explains why most people want him banned from China and talk trash to him online. Nationalists are more dangerous than white supremacists? No. Chinese nationalists are patriots who are sick of seeing idiots like him screw up Chinese international relations by intentionally portraying China in a negative light. And I'm sick of foreigners like him too. He's making me look bad because some people might think we're similar. We are not similar at all. Then he's saying no one has the courage to stop people from being angry at him on the internet. Why the hell would anyone want to stop someone from talking trash to him when he so clearly hates Chinese people? And then he tries to portray people's hatred of him as anti-foreigner rhetoric. He's treating Chinese people like they're here for him to use for his own gain. They aren't anti-foreigner, they're anti-fake liars. I have plenty of friends who are nationalists and work for the government. They don't talk trash to me and they don't want to kick me out of the country. I treat them with respect and they treat me with respect, just like in any other country. You get what you give. Imagine the inverse for a moment. A Chinese person flies to South Africa to teach Chinese. He starts making videos about how shit the people in South Africa are, but only does it in Chinese and only releases the videos in China. Then some people on the internet get angry about him, and then he starts whining that no one is stopping them. It's his fault he's in this mess, not everyone else's. Winston has had a pretty fortunate time here in China, making money from his anti-Chinese videos, and yet he still seems to complain about China an awful lot. So go home already. Nobody wants to hear you, loser. He hates rich Chinese, and he hates nationalist Chinese. But what does he think about Chinese society in general?
What is it that causes a society to lose all compassion for their fellow man and to pursue greed and money over the well-being of children? Greed and lack of compassion for fellow man is the crisis that's going on here in China. People will literally use up a resource until it's done. They don't care about the next person that's coming along. They don't care about the next generation of people. They don't care about, anyone other than themselves and now.
According to Winston Frederick Sturzel, you don't care about your children, you don't care about anyone else but yourself. That's what Winston is telling the world about Chinese people. He's telling Chinese people on the street that he's a doctor, training specialist, artist, media producer, IT guru, CEO that loves China. Then he's turning around to the anti-Chinese market out there and telling them Chinese people are like locusts, compassionless, greedy resource consumers. This is how anti-Chinese racism spreads. People like SerpentZA and Lawai86, who claim to be objective, inserting anti-Chinese angles into their speech.
As a foreigner, you're at a disadvantage. If you're a foreigner and you don't have a Chinese ID card, a train ticket, it's a lot more difficult. Being a foreigner is really a big handicap in China. There is no long-term future for foreigners in China.
He came here as an English teacher and spent years slamming China under the guise of being objective. And now he's saying that he's the victim. In what way are foreigners at a disadvantage? Buying a train ticket? I haven't had any trouble buying train tickets. Stop hating on China because things don't work how you want them to. China is not yours. China belongs to the Chinese people. You're a guest in their country, and if you act like an entitled little child, it's not everyone else's fault if no one likes you. He's obviously just trying to play the victim. There is no long-term future in China for foreigners like you, Winston. You come here, you make money off of secretly talking trash about the people around you, and you do nothing but bring down the image of China. What a disgusting leech.
If I really wanted to make China look bad, I could make China look like hell on earth, like that.
Winston is portraying Chinese people in the worst ways, and honestly, I can see exactly why people want to ban from China. I knew he was a fake before I even looked him up because I actually was a technical executive when I came to China. I actually did work for major media companies, and I actually love and respect China and the Chinese people and culture. And I don't ignore any bad things about any country. I just don't go out of my way to make everything seem like hell on earth. In other words, I'm the real version of all the things he's pretending to be. While he may have fooled the West into thinking he's objective, we see right through his garbage lies. We know better than to take criticism from an English teacher who doesn't have the courage to admit what he is. Just come out with it, Winston. Stop hiding behind your lies.
I'm too well known in China and abroad, so come at me, bro.
You're well known for being a biased moron spreading anti-Chinese propaganda while you whine about Chinese people not being how you want them to be. And now you'll be well known for being a complete fraud who lied about everything to earn a buck. If Winston is such a bigwig CEO, artist, media producer, doctor trainer, why is he constantly begging for money on his videos like a dog? If Winston was a real man, he'd release a video apologizing to the Chinese public and admitting the truth. But we all know he won't do that because he needs the money he gets from his videos too badly. Of all the 35 countries that I've been to, I personally prefer China. That's why I'm here. Why the fuck are you here, Winston? In the beginning, his videos weren't as anti-Chinese and he had no followers. And once he figured out that there's a market in the West for anti-Chinese drama, he quit his English teaching job and went along with what got him fans, hating on China. I've seen tons of his videos, and the fact that he thinks his objective is laughable. There isn't enough time in the world to point out all the stuff he's wrong about. For those of you who have seen my video debunking the lies the New York Times told about China, you know two things about me already. One, I use facts and real verified sources for my claims. And 2, I can dig in deep and find the real truth even when the lies are hidden very well. But SerpentZA's videos are so amateur. The mistruths are everywhere. They're simply too easy to debunk. His fans only think he's truthful because they already have anti-Chinese views, and he strengthens them. He's a major contributor to overseas anti-Chinese sentiment, and it's time for him to stop.
We have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Let us know the videos you like and leave your comment below. We have regular videos, so be sure to hit the red button below.